evening, listeners, watchers. Welcome to the Vale Vault Cellar Sessions. My name is ArthurO'Hara. I'll be doing a few songs for you tonight. And I'd like to welcome you to our host, Mr. Jamie Bullock Maguire, not forgetting, on the sound over there, none other than the excellent David Warren.
From David Warren Photography, of course. Good evening, Arthur. How are you?
Yeah, sorry about that. I missed that bit.
That's all right. It's all right. David had just put it on the bill at the end. That's fine. So thank you very much for coming down to the Vale Vault Cellar Sessions tonight. What are you going to kick us off with to start with?
Well, I'm going to start with a song which I know I was supposed to play two covers tonight, and this song. Well, it's a song I wrote a little while ago, and you might be scratching your head thinking, well, if you wrote it, how can it be a cover? Well, the thing is, a few years ago, shortly after I'd written this song, I was at my brother's house, and my brother and all of his family, they're all musicians, all really well known around the area, and every now and then we get together and we'll have like a big family jam session. So because it was family, my mother was there as well. And I said, oh yeah, guys, do you want to hear my new song? Yeah, it's a bit jazzy, yeah, it should be quite good. So yeah, so everybody played it, sounded really nice. And then at the end of it, my mother was sitting there giving me this really kind of stony look that she would normally reserve for me when I've been naughty as a teenager, you know. And I said, what's the matter, Mum, didn't you like it? And she said, Mac the Knife. I'm like, what are you talking about? She said, that song, Arthur, that was Mac the Knife. I'm like, no, the lyrics were nothing like Mac the Knife. And she says, yeah, but the tune was exactly the same. So, I don't know, so you could call it a cover or you could call it an homage, but one way or the other, I'm going to play my song and I'm going to start off with a bit of a cappella, Mac the Knife, okay?
Excellent, one of my favourite songs.
Okay, just get me in the right key there. Oh, the shark, babe, has such teeth, yeah, and he shows them pearly white. Just a jackknife has old McHeath, yeah, and he keeps it out of sight. When that shark bites, with its teeth, though, scarlet billows start to spread. Fancy gloves, oh, where's McHeath, babe? So there's never a trace of red. She needs silence in the moment. She needs silence when she's working. Oh, she likes to be left alone with the door shut and the mobile unanswered phone. She gets restless like a daughter when things don't quite go to plan. Yeah, then I'm flying with my cape on like Superman. I dream of a holiday down by the sea. Me in my trendy shorts, you looking lovely. This is where I should be going into a little dance routine. I dream of a holiday down by the sea. Me in my trendy shorts, you looking lovely. She needs quiet in the morning when the kids are all running bad boy, he's a king without a crown. See that line run right down the street, boy, when that Mike is back in town. Woo!
Very good, very good.
So I know it was cheating a bit, but hopefully I got away with it.
That's not cheating. That's called improvisation. I like that. That's called blending in. That's superb. I think your mum was wrong.
Yeah, I think so too. But you know, you can't argue with your mother.
Can't argue with mummy.
Can't argue with
definitely not. Definitely not. Right then. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I've been a musician since I was about 4 or 5 years old. Classically trained, took piano lessons for about sort of 6-7 years, violin lessons as well. Rebellious teenager, picked up a guitar, never looked back. I've been writing songs for, 40 years now, which kind of tells you how old I am, really. And I sort of took up the mandolin when I was 20 and then kind of gravitated onto other instruments as well. So I play the ukulele and the dobro and the lap steel and the bass as well. In fact, this guitar, the tuning that I'm using tonight is it's essentially a lap steel tuning. It's used primarily by lap steel guitar players, and that's how I discovered it. And one day I thought, I wonder what this would sound like if I just tuned the guitar like this, and wonder if I can find any chords. And fortunately, I found a few.
That always helps. Always helps.
Definitely.
So you say you've been classically trained, so what made you change?
I think the fact that I wanted to express myself, and for me, songwriting is all about self-expression. And I kind of wrote my first song really when I was about 16 years old, and it just felt like I was coming home. Don't get me wrong, I like classical music, but it's always kind of troubled me a little bit that when you listen to the classical stations on the radio, it's always the same pieces that you hear. How many versions of Rachmaninoff's Second Piano Concerto are there out there? I kind of like the idea of presenting something new, something different. That's what I've been about all of my life, really.
Excellent. So after that, we've had your original. Would you like to follow that up with a cover?
Well, that was the cover. I kind of segued, original and cover together there, sort of trying to merge them as one song. So that's where my mum comes in, you see. For those who would say that my mum is right, then really I was just doing a cover of Mac the Knife. For those who'd say she's wrong, then I kind of winged it with one of my own. But I'm kind of sitting on the fence a little bit myself, really. So I'm going to go into an instrumental now, an instrumental that I wrote, a couple of years ago, really. I got this guitar about a year and a half ago. My wife gave it to me as a 15th anniversary present. And I thanked her by writing loads of new material on it. Well, I gave her a present as well, obviously. And this is one of the pieces that I wrote with it. So I just want to check my tuning because I'm not quite sure that it was quite on there on that first song. Okay, so this is Untitled Instrumental. I'll think of a name for it one day, but not today. 2, 3, 4.
was a superb instrumental, and I think shortly we're going to have a name for that, because that needs to be released properly, I think.
Okay, well, maybe we should call it Shorty.
It's Shorty. That's an in-joke there for the people that know Arthur, I think. so that's
somewhat height challenge.
Well, you know, it's not how tall you are, I was always told, it's how high you can jump for a header.
Yeah, I was always grabbing the air.
Well, that's what I was measured on, so that was fine. So you've written that quality instrumental. What are you going to come back with us next?
Okay, next one is it's quite a sad song actually, because I've got a 12-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, but you know, when the Manchester bombing happened, you know, there were lots of little kids going to coming out of an Ariana Grande concert. And my daughter, particularly, is a huge fan of Ariana Grande. And you know, if we were living in Manchester, there's every chance that she would have been there too. And yeah, what I found really heartbreaking about that night was not only was it kids that were affected by it, but like quite a lot of those kids, their parents weren't even there because they'd gone out with like friends or cousins or whatever. So you know, it's just, the whole thing was just like so sad. And I was kind of thinking about it quite a lot the next day, and I ended up writing this song. It's called Light a Candle.
Thank you.
Light a candle for the fallen. Say a prayer if you believe. Take a moment for reflection before you leave.
absolutely sublime. That was absolutely brilliant. Can we see that song anywhere or hear it anywhere else?
Well, there's the Vale Vault Cellar sessions.
That will be up soon, in about 3 weeks, I would imagine, at this rate.
And that's about it, because it's a very, very new song. I've only played it live a couple of times, to be honest. Still feeling my way with it, really. So I'd say it's about ready to be recorded. I might have to be given a little nudge to get into the studio.
Nudge from the cellar. Yes, definitely. Where else can we see some of your other stuff then?
Well, I've got a YouTube channel that's got a few albums on it. So if anybody wants to check me out, they can type in my name, ArthurO'Hara, and that's O''Hara. Follow that with playlist, and 5 albums will come up that were all recorded between 2013 and 2015, so I was quite busy in that period.
So all quite recent as well? And,
Yeah, the songs not necessarily. I mean, some of them are, so some of them were written shortly before I recorded them, and then I think maybe a handful are a little bit older than that. But I'd recently retired from work. I retired from work in 2013. I took early retirement because I wasn't very well. And I took some of my little pot, and I bought myself a 24-track recording bit of equipment, and I used that. So it's a little bit old school. It's a little bit analog in its way, really. It's a digital machine, but it kind of works according to analog principles, and I love that because I'm very, very old school in the way that I work, the way that I write, pretty much the way that I do everything, really.
That's superb. So when you're not writing, singing, down in the cellar with us, what do you like to get up to in your spare time?
Well, I still like to take pictures, actually. I went off it for a while, as you do when when you've been doing something for a job for year after year after year. But when I was working, I was a press photographer working for the newspaper, or for a load of different newspapers. And the thing about that is that they always like pictures of people, people doing this, that and the other, but it's always people-based. So, what I've kind of really enjoyed doing since I left there is taking pictures that don't have any people in them. And the more kind of esoteric and arty and vague and difficult to decipher, the better, really, because that's completely the opposite of what I was doing when I was working.
Yeah. Superb. So coming back to your music now, we've changed guitar.
Yes.
What are we going to have next?
Okay, well the next song is it's all about my influences, really, because there's a number of different guitar players that I really, really like. I like the guys who I would call the melodicists. People like Carlos Santana and Peter Frampton, who just really know how to make a beautiful melody with their guitar. And then there's somebody like Dave Edmunds, who's really snappy, keeps it concise, always sounds like he's about to play a bum note, but never does, but is really edgy in the way that he plays. I really like that too. But this song particularly, I guess you could say it was primarily influenced by Georgie Fame, because I used to listen to a lot of Georgie Fame. I really like that kind of hit cat thing that he's got going on, and he was hugely influenced by Ray Charles. So this next song is a massive tip of the hat to both Georgie Fame and Ray Charles. Okay, and it's called Where's My Jazz Tie?
Excellent, thank you very much.
Okay, so 2, 3, 4. Georgie's on the record player, jamming out a groove. Ray's all stacked in vinyl, there to make us move. They're making new suggestions, some would not approve. And though I ain't no scientist, I got something to prove. How I love the music of this youth. There's a party on the second floor of the apartment on my block. The windows all are shaking, that party sure does rock. The bass is throbbing low, is flying high, and some hipster on the vocal don't even have to try. I think I might just swing on by. Where's my jazz tie? My correspondent shoes. My mouth is so dry. I need to wet my blues, yeah. I'm packing all the necessary, it's what you gotta do. Ready for any eventuality, any shade of blue. The chicks are looking hot, the cats are mighty fine. This kind of groovy happening happens all the time. In a neighborhood like mine, where's my jazz tie? My corresponding shoes. My mouth is so dry. I need to wet my blues, yeah. Where's my jazz tie? My corresponding shoes. My mouth is so dry. I gotta wet my blues. I gotta wet my blues, oh yeah.
Superb. You look like you were really enjoying that up there.
Yeah, I love that song. I really like the kind of the 1960s groove happening.
Yeah,
kind
that
of
was superb,
things
isn't it?
going on there.
Tapping on the laptop, foot tapping over here, drumming away. There's Dave in the booth as well. We're
Yeah,
all having a great time in the
Yeah,
cellar
I'll
tonight.
tell you what, man, actually, the only thing missing on that song is a stand-up bass, you know, to kind of just give it even more of a 60s feel. And, you know, I know a really good stand-up bassist because my nephew plays stand-up. So one of these days, I'm going to get him to do that one with me.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Bring him along, bring him down to the cellar.
Yes.
We can do that. Get
Well,
him down to the cellar.
it will give us an excuse to do another one.
Yeah, well, that's it. We don't need excuses in the
You
cellar.
see, I can do this one under my own name, but if I drag him along with me, then I can give us a different name and then we can do it again.
Yeah, that's a very, very good idea. I like that. Dave, you're in. Book him again, Dave. Book him again. So you said that you mentioned some of your influences there, like you like Georgie Frame there.
Yeah, and Ray Charles. You know, I mean, Ray Charles was one of those guys. He was a real groundbreaker, and the thing about groundbreakers is that the ground that they break, it doesn't always work, you know. And he was one of those people that a lot of what he did was just really sublime. And then he kind of go down some paths sometimes that didn't work so well. But you know, if you listen to pretty much anything he did throughout the 1950s or early 60s, it's just heaven on a plate, basically.
It's
really nice.
very, very good indeed. So with that in mind, what can we ask what your favourite song of all time is?
Oh God, that is a really tricky one, and I don't think I know the answer to that. If I'm honest, I don't really know.
People have said that, and we have allowed 3.
You have allowed 3.
Yeah. We've broaden the question slightly.
Yeah, this is a question that I really could have done with having in advance. I suppose I have to kind of think about the artists that I like and then sort of take it from there, which would be my favourite songs of theirs, that I like. But it's really hard one because, it gets back to, influences. Say, is it a song that maybe had a massive influence on me as a youngster? In which case I'll probably pick something by the Kinks, because when I was in my 20s, busking my way around Europe, they were a massive influence on me. I was like, kind of thought of myself as a young Ray Davies, really, troubled, angst-ridden 20-year-old, So, I don't know, maybe something of theirs, like I don't know, the obvious choice would be Waterloo Sunset, I suppose, but that wouldn't necessarily be my favourite song now, but it was probably certainly my favourite song when I was in my 20s. And another one of theirs that I absolutely loved was Celluloid Heroes, which they did a great live version of on a live album in 1981. Are we okay here?
Yeah, no, something's just gone bang in the booth, but I think Dave's still alive.
Cool.
I think we lost that. No, we're okay.
No, that's okay. And then, another band that I really love, or have loved over the years, is Wishbone Ash. They have the two guitar players, Andy Powell and Ted Turner, and they kind of were almost like the first people to do that twin guitar sound. And the album of theirs, which was really, the best one that they ever did, really, was called Argus. And there was a song on there called Sometime World, which I used to play with my brother. And I think in a top 3, that would probably have to be there, definitely.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
And the other one, I'll let you know.
You can give us 3. Yeah, no, you can give us 3. Yeah.
So the other one, I will think about that and let you know next time I'm here.
Oh, there you go. I thought we were going to come back with a third there. You reeled me in there and pushed me back away. I like that.
But I tell you what, actually, on the short list would definitely be this next one that I'm going to play, because I know I'm supposed to play another cover before I go home, so I thought I'd finish with a cover. And when I was a little kid, we had lots of music going on in the house. My mum loved Elvis, my dad loved the Beatles, everybody loved classical music. And I think the first album I bought was by the Monkees. It was the Monkees' greatest hits. So as a tribute and a homage to the Monkees, I'm going to do Last Train to Clarksville.
Excellent.
Right.
Off we go.
Are we ready? Are we ready for this, Dave? Take the last train to Clarksville, and I'll meet you at the station. You can't be there by 4:30, 'cause we made our reservation. Don't be slow. Oh, no. I
Wow, what a way to end the Cellar sessions with the last Train to Clarksville, one of my favourites, by the Monkeys, one of my favourite bands as well.
Oh, thanks, Jamie.
Thank you very much. Well, where can we see you playing next?
Where can you see me playing next? I've had a fairly busy summer and spring and summer, but it tends to all go quiet after the end of September, because all through April, May, and all the way through the summer, there's all these little beer festivals and stuff. And I've been doing some work with Dan Littlechild of the Acoustic Reverb Collective. I'm one of their rostered artists, if you like. So when they do a festival and there's a bunch of people on the bill, I hopefully will usually find a slot with them. So many thanks to Dan for that. But that all tends to go quiet at the end of the summer. And just a couple of weeks ago, I played Mayfield Carnival, which was nice, except for the fact that it was raining during my set, which was okay. I was covered, but unfortunately the people who were listening weren't, so they all sort of disappeared.
Yeah, oh, no.
I was playing to a lot of empty chairs and tables that day. But as for the future, who knows what it may hold. I actually don't have anything lined up for the next month or two. We'll just have to see how it goes. Although, if you go to a gig featuring the delights of a band called Second Helping, you may well see me tapping a bit of cajon with them.
Oh, the mighty Second Helping.
Yeah,
soon to be in the Cellar soon.
Good, yeah, I hope so, because they're a good bunch of guys and they do some really nice stuff. And I'm hoping that I might be playing a bit of cajon with them.
Ah, excellent. Well, we can have you all back.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be a lovely night.
It would be an ArthurO'Hara reprise.
Yeah, it would be super. So, apart from tonight, what has been, do you think, your best gig to date?
Best gig, there's been some good ones and there's been some really dodgy ones. But one that really kind of sticks in the memory is way back when I was 20. I was travelling around a lot, and me and the guys I was playing with at the time, we were kind of staying with a friend who lived on a farm in a village way up in the north of Holland, where there's nothing, it was just absolute outback. And we were offered a gig in, it was in a barn at the back of somebody's house, and we were told it was a private club, okay? Well, you can see where this is going. And, it turned out to be a wife-swapping club, but of course, because I was a kind of a young and innocent 20, I had absolutely no idea. And basically, I used to split the vocals with an American guy who was a few years older than me, and had a great sense of humour and a real kind of worldly attitude about him. And he kept disappearing. I couldn't figure out why, I was sort of doing these songs where he was supposed to be doing half of the vocals, like, where the hell is he? Well, I found out later on that that was where he was.
He was having too much fun.
Yeah, he was. And I think with me, the thing is, I was significantly younger than most of the people there, because they were all kind of well-heeled, sort of doctors and lawyers and farmers and people who'd made their wealth, if you like, and they had their nice houses, and they were looking for a bit of something to do that was a bit kind of attractive and out there. And I didn't get any of that. I didn't realise any of this until the next day, when everybody was like taking the mickey out of me for not knowing what was going on.
Excellent. Well, unfortunately, we don't have those kind of parties here down in the Vale or down at the Bedford.
Well, it is Tunbridge Wells.
It is the Royal Borough after all, but
mind you, I tell you what, I was doing a gig here. Hello, I was doing a gig here about a year ago, and I think the Vale Vault down here had only just opened, okay, and my mate was sitting at the bar right next to the door where they come down, and I just finished my set, and I was standing there having a drink with him, and all these really well-dressed women were going in that door, but they weren't coming back out again, and we thought it was the loo, and it's like, all these women are going to the loo and they're not coming back out, what is going on? And then afterwards, we found out it was the Vale Vault.
It is, and now you are there, so that is now you know what is downstairs in the Bedford, probably the best pub in Tunbridge Wells ever. We've got to say that because we're on rights with the landlord here to use the facilities.
Well, I've played here many times and it's always been a blast, so thank you, Mr. Landlord.
that is superb. And now, hopefully, we will have you back in the Cellar session soon, possibly with your nephew, possibly with the mighty second helping, or even coming back on your own.
Who knows? But whatever it is, I will absolutely look forward to it because it's been a blast. I've really enjoyed it.
So for the time being, thank you very much, ArthurO'Hara. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, David.
Thanks, Dave. Dave, hit the music.